भाई जयगुरु ठाकुर भाई अछंती
भाई जयगुरु कौन कहले
भाई जयगुरु ठाकुर भाई अछंती लाइन
जयगुरु भाई बोधे ठाकुर भाई जॉइन करि नांती आउ के जदी गाई देबे प्रतीक्षा
देवाशीष कुछ मु स्टार्ट कर दो मु
हां भाई आज्ञा हां अपन कर दें
जयगुरु आसहे परम सुंदर आसहे परम सुंदर आसहे परम सुंदर आसहे परम सुंदर मधु सौरभे आमोदित करी मधु सौरभे आमोदित करी बिरही मरम मंदिर बिरही मरम मंदिर आसहे परम सुंदर आसहे परम सुंदर आसहे परम सुंदर आसहे परम सुंदर हे परम ब्रह्म गुरु निर्गुण हे परम ब्रह्म गुरु निर्गुण होइया सबारे साकार सगुण होइया सबारे साकार सगुण आदरे मधुरे बकरी बाकू मन आदरे मधुरे करी बाकू मन निराजना पद कंजर निराजना पद कंजर आसहे परम सुंदर आसहे परम सुंदर आसहे परम सुंदर आसहे परम सुंदर मोर भुवन रे आस अवतरी मोर भुवन रे आस अवतरी अमर ज्योतिर वैभव धरी अमर ज्योतिर वैभव धरी लिभाई दिए भव जीवनरु लिभाई दिए भव जीवनरु माया घेरा घन अंधार माया घेरा घन अंधार आसहे परम सुंदर आसहे परम सुंदर आसहे परम सुंदर आसहे परम सुंदर तुम पूजनर कमल करबी तुम पूजनर कमल करबी तुम भजनर पीरति पुरबी तुम भजनर पीरति पुरबी चरणे अरपी पारी नहीं बोली चरणे अरपी पारी नहीं बोली चला पथ मोर बंधुरा चला पथ मोर बंधुरा आस हे परम सुंदर आस हे परम सुंदर आस हे परम सुंदर आस हे परम सुंदर भावराई जर भावमय देव भावराई जर भावमय देव मो जीवने का तुम्हें ही अभाव मो जीवने का तुम्हें ही अभाव तुम आलोकरे परिपूर्ण करी तुम आलोकरे परिपूर्ण करी भरी दिया हृदय कंदर भरी दिया हृदय कंदर आस हे परम सुंदर आस हे परम सुंदर आस हे परम सुंदर आस हे परम सुंदर मधु सौरभे आमोदित करी मधु सौरभे आमोदित करी बिरही मरम मंदिर बिरही मरम मंदिर आस हे परम सुंदर आस हे परम सुंदर आस हे परम सुंदर आस हे परम सुंदर जय
जय कमल चरणी कुसुमांजलि देवाकु मनरे भाळी साइति रखिछि नाना जाति फूल बन उपवनु तोळी बन उपवनु तोळी कमल चरणी कुसुमांजलि देवाकु मनरे भाळी साइति रखिछि नाना जाति फूल साइति रखिछि नाना जाति फूल बन उपवनु तोळी बन उपवनु तोळी नयन बारीर भिजा पणतरे पोछि देवी पद दुई आकुल प्राणर व्याकुलता घोरी चंदन लेपिबी तहीं बसाई तुमको हृदय पद्मासने बसाई तुमको हृदय पद्मासने बाड़ी नैवेद्य थाली बाड़ी नैवेद्य थाली कमल चरणी कुसुमांजलि देवाकु मनरे भाळी ସାଇତି ରଖିଛି ନାନା ଜାତି ଫୁଲ ବନ ଉପବନ ତୋଳି ବନ ଉପବନ ତୋଳି ମରମେ ସାଇତା ଗୋପନ ବାରତା ତୁମ ଆଗେ ଦେବୀ କହି ମରମେ ସାଇତା ଗୋପନ ବାରତା ତୁମ ଆଗେ ଦେବୀ କହି ଅଲୋଡ଼ା ବୋଲି ମୋ କଥା ଏଡ଼ିବନି ଶୁଣିବ ସରାଗ ବହି ଅଲୋଡ଼ା ବୋଲି ମୋ କଥା ଏଡ଼ିବନି ଶୁଣିବ ସରାଗ ବହି ପ୍ରାଣ ଭରା ପ୍ରୀତି ଅଜାଡ଼ି ଦେଇ ମୁଁ ପ୍ରାଣ ଭରା ପ୍ରୀତି ଅଜାଡ଼ି ଦେଇ ମୁଁ ନେବି ତୁମକୁ ଶଙ୍ଖୋଳି ନେବି ତୁମକୁ ଶଙ୍ଖୋଳି କମଳ ଚରଣୀ କୁସୁମଞ୍ଜଳି ସେବାକୁ ମନରେ ଭାଳି ସାଇତି ରଖିଛି ନାନା ଜାତି ଫୁଲ ସାଇତି ରଖିଛି ନାନା ଜାତି ଫୁଲ ବନ ଉପବନ ତୋଳି ବନ ଉପବନ ତୋଳି କମଳ ଚରଣୀ କୁସୁମଞ୍ଜଳି ଦେବାକୁ ମନରେ ଭାଳି ଜୀବନରେ ସେବା କରିଥିଲେ ସିନା ମରଣେ ପାରିବି କରି ଜୀବନରେ ସେବା କରିଥିଲେ ସିନା ମରଣେ ପାରିବି କରି ସେ ପାରିକୁ ଯିବା ବେଳ ହେବ ଯେବେ ତୁମେ ନେବ କର ଧରି ସେ ପାରିକୁ ଯିବା ବେଳ ହେବ ଯେବେ ତୁମେ ନେବ କର ଧରି ସେବାର ସୁଯୋଗ ଦେଉଥା ଦେବ ସେବାର ସୁଯୋଗ ଦେଉଥା ଦେବ ଏତିକି ଶ୍ରୀପଦେ ଅଳି ଏତିକି ଶ୍ରୀପଦେ ଅଳି କମଳ ଚରଣୀ କୁସୁମଞ୍ଜଳି ଦେବାକୁ ମନରେ ଭାଳି ସାଇତି ରଖିଛି ନାନା ଜାତି ଫୁଲ ସାଇତି ରଖିଛି ନାନା ଜାତି ଫୁଲ ବନ ଉପବନ ତୋଳି ବନ ଉପବନ ତୋଳି କମଳ ଚରଣୀ କୁସୁମଞ୍ଜଳି ଦେବାକୁ ମନରେ ଭାଳି କମଳ ଚରଣୀ
ପୂଜ୍ୟ ଗୁଣହୀନ ସେ ସଗୁଣାଧିପତି ভবধীর জনে সত সম্বরদম প্রণমামি গুরুং শিবকল্পতরুং প্রণমামি গুরুং শিব ଜୟଗୁରୁ ଶୁଣା ଯାଉଛି?
ଜୟଗୁରୁ ମା ଆଜ୍ଞା।
ହଁ ମା ଶୁଣା ଯାଉଛି। তুমি
Jayaguru. Nigamopadasa, page 122. Doubtless faith. Therefore, faith is the substratum of everything. In the absence of faith, no path can bear any fruit. Faithless life is ridiculous. He who can say firmly and sincerely that I must find him whatever I do, whether I do any sadhana or not, is no less a hero sadhaka. He will achieve someday his desired result by dint of his firm faith. Narada, while playing on his veena, was one day going towards Vaikuntha. On his way, he came across a lunatic who was scolding God a lot. He told him, just ask God when I shall get liberation. While moving further, Narada met an ascetic. He also asked the same question. Narada told Lord about both of them. God replied to the lunatic's question, he will get liberation after 3 baths. He did not say a word about the second man. He just replied, tell the ascetic that God is busy in inserting an elephant through the eye of a needle. Therefore, he could not give an answer to the question. When Narada returned, the ascetic first asked, O Thakur, what is God's instruction for me? Narada replied, God is busy in inserting an elephant through the eye of a needle. So he could not find time to answer the question. On hearing it, the ascetic said, it is my bad luck. So God is engaged in such an impossible task. When the lunatic was told about God's busy engagements for which he had no time to give answer to his question, he burst into loud laughter. He said, what a surprise! He who can create, maintain and dissolve crores of worlds within the spark of a moment, how does it become a difficult task for him to bail out a mere elephant through the eye of a needle for which he could not give answer to my question? On saying this, he went on scolding God more and more. Now Narad realized why God did not answer the question of the ascetic, but told about the liberation of the lunatic after 3 baths. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Nirachara Sarswat Sangha Puri, America Sarswat Sangha, 990 Sangha Puja Session Report, Pariya, Prayushi Adhibasa. The Adhibasa Puja was held on 10th January 2026. It started at 7 p.m. at NSM with the Stotra Bandhana. After that, Nigama Upadesa and Lila Prasanga book was read. Then Arpitama invited Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj and all bhaktas for the next day's Sangha Puja. After the Jayaguru Nama Kirtana, the puja was concluded and Ratri Bhoga was offered to Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj. On the next day, on 11 January, on the Sangha Puja day, the morning session of puja started at 7:15 a.m. with Pratikya Gana. Arpita Ma sang Ajiye Subha Prabhate Kantha Bhari and Puja Ma sang Antara Devata Asahe. During that time, all the devotees joined the Sangha Puja at NSM or via teleconference. Vijaybai offered Puja Archana and Arati to Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj, followed by Smita Baima, led Bandhai Guru Charana and Sutra Bandhana. Then Sashmita Ma read Shree Shree Guru Gita Shloka 49. Brajabai led Parjaya Patra Patha, followed by Samarani Prarthana. Sonia Ma read Sangha Sevaka 23rd year part 2, Bandhana Prarthana and Prarthana Karinka Prati. In Prarthana Karinka Prati, it was read that the ego is generated by performing action. Therefore, surrender ourselves to Sri Gurudev, which will convert our bodily action into Niskama Karma. Relinquishing the ego will lead to Chitta Suddhi. Among all the creations of God, human beings are the only ones who can convert Prabhuti to Nibruti. It was also said that a pure mind can only be used to achieve divine glory. After that, Arpitama invited Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj for Bhoga Grahana and invited Shree Shree Thakur for the second puja session and requested all bhaktas at NSM to receive Balya Prasad and to attend the second session of Sangha Puja at 9:45 a.m. The first session was concluded with Jayaguru Mahanama Kirtana. Balya Bhoga was offered to Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj and all bhaktas, Bhaima and young aspirants took prasad at ashram. The second session of the Sangha Puja started at 9:45 a.m. with Abahana Gana by Anjali Ma, Asahe Purana Sundara. And Milu Ma sang after that, Kem Dina Dina Bandhu Hai. Asana was opened with Bhava Bandhana Mochana Pranamakana. Udita Ma sang the Bandhana Eki Dekhila Akhi. Smita Baima read Parjaya Patra followed by Biswapati Pranama by Lina Ma. Padma Ma read Nigama Upadesa. The content was Faith in the Name of God, the story of Chanda Biswas, where it was read about the unshakable faith and devotion of taking Nama, which could lead to liberation even with a single utterance. After that, Swetama read Pancha Sanyasini Sisya. It was read about Ishwara and Bimalama's arrival in ashram and how Santima took care of both of them. It was also discussed about Santima's Seva towards Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj in the Matha. And then, on Shree Shree Thakur's wish, she left for Kashi to establish an ashram for widows in the year of 1321 on the auspicious day of Akshay Tritiya. Then Nilipta Ma sang the Prarthana song, Mone Mora Chiro Jagi Hai Thakura. Rashmi Pandama read Yogi Guru Sadhana Kalpa. where it was read about sadhakas, how they have to obey the rules and regulation during their practice or sadhana. Then Brajabhai led the Q&A session and discussed the Sangha Sevaka, which was read during the first session. YA session started with Shreyasi singing Prarthana Sangita, Ei Jibane Thakura Tome Eka Nijora. Swati Ma conducted the YA session and discussed what I expect from Nigamopadesa. After the YA session ended, Prayushi and Arpita Ma did Bhava Vinimaya Seva. Then Arpita Ma invited Shree Shree Thakur for the Madhyana Bhoga and evening puja. Pratyush invited Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj to the next Sangha Puja to be held on 18th January 2026. On behalf of all Paliyas, Ajit Bhai invited Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj and all Bhaktas for the next Sangha Puja. Arpita Ma prayed for forgiveness from Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj on the behalf of all Sevaka and Sevikas for any mistakes with the Seva. The session was concluded with Vidya Prarthana, Dayamaya Shree Shree Charane, sang by Rashmi Chaudhary Ma. Asana was closed with Jayaguru Namakirtana and Pranama. Biswajit Bhai took the attendance for Vice and Mass. Madhyana Bhoga was offered to Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj, followed by Prasada Sevana by all Bhais, Mass and young aspirants present in the ashram. Attendance was taken by Biswajit Bhai, and the links to attendance sheet is available on AMSAS website. Shree Shree Thakur Charana Srita, Prayusi, Arpita Ma. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru, Nirajal Thakur Nigamananda, from page 265. When Naresh Bhai returned home after spending about 3 months in Alipur at that time, none of his relatives could recognize him. Who would have said that this was the same skeletal man who lacked the strength even to stand up? It was as if a tide of health was surging in his body. He appeared completely free of disease. The Saraswati Sangha has always seen that vigorous, strong, and elevated physique of Sri Naresh Chandra Thakurasi. I remember that Jogeshwara Ganguly, Nrupen Rai, Amulya Bhai of Halisahar, and others were present that day. I cannot say who else was there. I only remember that the entire veranda was filled with people. Later, I heard that upon receiving the news of Thakur's return, Sakti Bhai reportedly said, "In that case, let's go to Calcutta and hold a Parisista Samalani, neighborly gathering." Consequently, he also came. Along with this, I shall also speak of Amulya Bhai. After visiting Vishwanath in Kashi, a transformation of spirit occurred in Amulya Bhai. To use his own words, the mind was always in distress, a certain void was felt in soul, and there was such an internal burning that nothing felt pleasant. An impulse, it would not let me remain still, as if it wanted to push me somewhere. About a year after this, one night during the late hours, he miraculously had a vision of Shree Shree Thakur in the form of Jnani Guru in his own bedroom. At that time, there were 4 Dikshita or initiated disciples of Thakur in Halisahar. In the meantime, he had become acquainted with one of them, Bhajan Ganguly. Hearing about his transcendental vision, Bhani Bhai said with joy, that indeed is our Gurudeva. Seeing the Jnani Guru picture of Thakur, Amulya Bhai's heart kept saying, "This Thakur alone is what I need." Next page. When he first obtained the vision of Shree Shree Thakur at Bhani Babu's residence in Howrah, he said, "I looked and looked. Thakur, this is indeed my Thakur." Thakur said, "When I come to Bengal again, I shall give you Diksha then." However, unable to bear the delay due to the yearning of his soul, Amulya Bhai decided that he would go to the Assam Mutt to receive his Diksha. He had received the news that Thakur would remain at Mattha until the puja. No one could give him directions for the route. What of it? Amulya Bhai was constantly chanting, "I must go." The year 1329, the month of Ashwina. The trains were very crowded due to the puja season. 2 days before his departure, late night, he heard, "Board the carriage near the engine, it will be empty." Packing a piece of cloth, a shirt, and a towel in a bag, Amulya Bhai set out without telling anyone at home. The train arrived. What a crowd! People were being crushed like a flattened rice in that rush. Looking all around, I moved towards the engine. The crowd in the nearby compartments was indeed less, so I boarded one. I do not know what state had gripped me, but I had no desire to speak with anyone. Many kept asking out of curiosity, "Hey boy, where are you going?" Sometimes I did not answer, and other times I would say, "Kokkada Mukha." They would ask, where is that?" In my mind, I would say, "I do not know, but that is where I shall go." On the way on the way, again in a dream, on the train, he saw the Assam Mutt, its buildings, the pond, the garden, the saffron flag, everything like a clear picture. There is no longer any fear of the unknown. He knew he would now find everything just as he saw it. Getting off at Gosaigaon, he walked towards the water with Gagan Bhai. Upon reaching the footpaths and seeing the saffron flag of the Matha, Amulya Bhai, heedless of the open fields, began to run in excitement. Arriving at Matha, he saw exactly what he had seen in his dream. It was Puja holiday. Many devotees had come from Kolkata at that time. After taking prasada with them, Amulya Bhai had a heart-filling vision of Thakur again that afternoon, Mahasaptami, on the veranda of the Gauranga temple. Thakur could not initially see the theme-framed Amulya Bhai, who was standing behind everyone. Many requested to receive the Diksha. It was decided that Thakur would give Diksha to everyone on the morning of Mahanavami. After everyone had bowed and taken their leave one by one, Thakur noticed Amulya Bhai. Hey, where have you come from and when did you arrive? From Halisahar, I arrived this morning, said Amulya Bhai. How did you come? Everything is flooded by the train, said Thakura. The train in which Amulya Bhai had travelled was the last train going to Assam. Thakura asked, did you inform your mother before coming? Amulya Bhai said, no. Why? There was no answer to that. When will you return? To this question from Thakura, Amulya Bhai said, if I receive the Diksha tomorrow, I shall go the following day. Hearing Amulya Bhai's words, Thakura called Sudhananda Maharaj and said, look here, this boy says he will leave the day after tomorrow after receiving Diksha. Can you determine the time and arrange things a bit? If so, I shall give Diksha to others as well. Sudhananda Maharaj replied, why not, Thakura? I shall arrange everything for the welfare of Amulya Bhai. Instead of waiting for Mahanavami, Sri Thakur accepted his offerings during the auspicious moment of Mahastami itself. The day before Diksha, Thakur had told Amulya Bhai, tomorrow, bathe in the Brahmaputra and come to me at 8 in the morning. Do not be late. Out of fear, Amulya Bhai could not sleep well that night. Thinking it might have already become dawn, he kept getting up from the bed repeatedly in anxiety. As a result, he fell into the deep sleep during the final hours of the night. Waking up suddenly and seeing the surroundings illuminated, he grabbed his towel and ran towards the Brahmaputra. He saw others walking slowly and steadily. He reached the river bank in one stretch and somehow, taking 3 dips in the fiercely flowing Brahmaputra, he ran back. All the others had not even reached the river bank by then. Running back to the Matha, he saw Thakura standing on the veranda of the Gauranga temple, resting one hand on the door in a slightly tilted posture, looking with the enchanted eyes. Amulya Bhai thought, how beautiful he looks. He seems just like Krishna. Thakura asked, where are all of them? Amulya Bhai replied, they are going for their bath. Thakura said, going just now? Then you come. I shall give you Diksha alone first. Casting aside his wet clothes and towel, Amulya Bhai immediately appeared before Thakura. All arrangements for the initiation of the Diksha were ready in the room. He sat upon the seat. Oh, what a form! Radiantly, Amulya Bhai told me, where would the Krishna thought flee? This indeed is Mahashiva. At that time, without any spiritual practice or worship, Amulya Bhai had a deep faith in Thakura and Thakur Maharaj, the world teacher, the knower of hearts, who undoubtedly knew this. Therefore, after giving the mantra, pointing his right hand towards himself, he told his newly initiated disciple, look at me, look well. Amulya Bhai was gazing in a state of ecstasy. Thakur asked again, what did you see? Closing his eyes, Amulya Bhai replied, I saw something. Pranakrishna Das Babaji, the head of Chaitanya Doba Ashram, was a teaching guru of Amulya Bhai's mother. It was his mother's special wish that he should be given Diksha by that Babaji. Knowing this, Amulya Bhai had fled to the mutt again. After his return from mutt, one day the Babaji placed his hand on his head and recited some unknown mantra. From that day, a strange kind of internal burning arose in Amulya Bhai. Great peace appeared in his chitta. Meanwhile, in Krishna Nagar, the Babaji told Amulya Bhai's brother-in-law, now Amulya will have to take Diksha from me. Amulya Bhai did not reveal the state of his heart to anyone. After a month or two, Babaji came and asked, how are you? Amulya Bhai said, I am very well. He said, what are you saying? Has nothing happened to you? Amulya Bhai gave a blunt reply, no, nothing has happened. He asked this question 3 times. Amulya Bhai had only answered no. Thakur was in Puri at that time. After a few months, when he came to the Halishahar ashram, Amulya Bhai told him everything openly. Hearing that he had not admitted his internal burning to the Babaji in any way, Thakur exclaimed, you told him, no, nothing has happened? When Amulya Bhai said, yes, Thakur was very delighted. From then on, all of Amulya Bhai's suffering disappeared on his own. Subsequently, Pranakrishna Das also began to respect Shree Shree Thakur with great devotion, regarding him as the Almighty Sadguru. My Thakur is the Supreme Lord himself. To test whether this devotion to the Guru in Amulya Bhai had become firm, perhaps Shree Shree Thakur had put him through such an ordeal. No matter how much pain I suffer, I shall not open my mouth to anyone but Thakur for his remedy. Staying firm in this resolve, Amulya Bhai easily passed the test. In Amulya Bhai's opinion, my Thakur is the protector of his children, both internally and externally. No one has the power to touch the bodies of his children. The only necessity is to hold on to him with body, mind and soul. It is because of such disciple devotees that Thakur Nigamananda Thakurhood exists. Through faith, one attains the goal while logic remains far away. Listening to the complaints and the grievances of his loved ones with a smiling face, Thakur finally said, I understand that you did not get the opportunity to enjoy the Sambrani this time. Let the session of that joyful gathering to be held here today. Then your loss will be compensated to some extent. Sudhir Bhai, the master of the house, joyfully agreed. Everyone truly elated. Then the laughter began. I shall never forget the stories of Naresh Bhai's Guru Seva, service to Guru, and Amulya Bhai's Anya Dekha, seeing a bride in his life, in this life. Both performed and presented the stories. As much as Baba loved, the mothers at the doorway loved just as much. Truly, a storm of laughter was blowing when someone from East Bengal went to buy Sittarapatti, a cool mat, and told the shopkeeper the measurements. I'm 1 cubit wide and my wife is 1.5 cubits wide. Give me the Sittarapatti of that size. Baba's eyes filled with that tears from intense laughter. The householder had ultimately kept that Sittarapatti for Guru Thakura in the end, and had served his Gurudeva by laying him on that mat and fanning him all night with a floral patterned fan. After hearing the story, one could clearly understand how true is that there is a responsibility in being a Guru. The gathering broke up around 10 o'clock. Sudhir Bhai probably asked everyone to stay there for the night after taking prasada. There was no lack of space in his house. He and his wife were very generous people. Having people at home made it convenient for him to laugh and talk. While listening to the sounds of laughter from the downstairs late into the night, I eventually fell asleep. At that time, none of us knew what kind of horror we have to face after this roar of laughter. Waking up the next morning, Thakur said he had a slight fever and his body was aching. Everyone thought that due to irregularities of 3 months of train travel, he had become internally unwell. This was just a minor outward manifestation of it. However, considering that the spring season was approaching, which is a time of epidemic, Bhuvan Bhai called for his acquaintance, Dr. Jogesh Mukherjee. Upon examining Thakur, he suddenly asked, Swamiji, what is this blister on your face? Moving his hand over it, Baba said, yes, perhaps a mosquito bit me. Shaking his head, the doctor said, No, it is not a mosquito. Let's see if there are any others like this as well. Seeing this, the faces of Bhuban Bhai, Sudhir Bhai, Ma and Saraju Ma turned pale. Baba's face also appeared green. Running his hand over his body and chest, Baba said in surprise, "Here is another one." Doctor pulled his hand and saw another blister on his palm. Seeing this, a panicked Bhuban Bhai said, "Look carefully, Dr. Babu. It seems like a mosquito bite. I also saw it along with everyone. Those two blisters look exactly like mosquito bites. They did not seem to be anything else. Moreover, I could not understand which disease everyone was fearing that made their faces so gloomy." Jayaguru Bhai, eটি ରଖିବି ଭାଇ? Jayaguru?
Sorry, wait, more mute is like. पढिदियो आउट पेज पढिदियो समय अछि 9:30 let's finish at 9:30 little bit after 9:30
हाँ मैं ये पेज पढ़ दो लास्ट पेज पढ़ दो It did not seem to be anything else. Moreover, I could not comprehend the apprehension of which disease had caused everyone's face to turn pale. The doctor said, "God forbid, let this not be true. The times were extremely bad, and with him having a fever, such symptoms naturally instill fear in the mind. However, he mentioned feeling pain in his body. For 2 or 3 days, the entire household remained silent and motionless. It was as if the nature was warning us beforehand. Where did the joyous clamor of the day disappear to? In the morning, the house felt empty, as Naresh Bhai and others would leave for school. Even then, there was no shortage of people, yet everyone seemed to walk on tiptoe. There were no words in anyone's mouth. As soon as the morning broke, it was seen that doctor's apprehension was true. Those red blisters had appeared in the countless numbers all over Thakur's face and body. There was excruciating pain all over his body, accompanied by a high fever. It was not chickenpox, but the fully developed epidemic smallpox. I have seen smallpox in many people during childhood and adulthood, and have suffered from it myself. But I have never seen such a terrifying attack of smallpox on anyone as what happened to Thakur. In no time, his whole body was covered in blisters. His face swelled up to such an extent that it became unrecognizable. From the hair on his head to the soles of his feet, no spot was left untouched. The blisters filled with pus grew large and merged, making Thakur's entire body appear as if it were covered in one continuous wound. Yet he who bore the brunt of the severe disease endured everything calmly, despite the immense pain during bodily functions, all while sitting or lying down during the blisters covering his body. I do not recall ever hearing him cry out in agony or from the suffering. His entire body was in pain due to blisters. However, the attendants mistook the silent state for unconsciousness. Initially, he was speaking in some incoherent words. It was natural to form such an impression from the beginning because the high fever accompanied the onset of the smallpox. Thakur seemed to be delirious, but he recovered. He said, "At that time, I was not lying down mentally or spiritual myself regarding his smallpox illness." Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Charana tale mage charana tale sarana mage charana tale sarana mage charana tale sarana mage charana tale mage antara bhara anurage antara bhara anurage mage charana tale sarana mage प्रेमर देवता तुम्हें तुम्हें हे भावग्राही प्रेमर देवता तुम्हें तुम्हें हे भावग्राही तुम्हें तो पुराण प्रिय तुम श्री चरण छाई तुम्हें तो पुराण प्रिय तुम श्री चरण छाई मागुणी मो जीव अंत भागे मागुणी मो जीव अंत भागे मागे मागे चरण तले शरण मागे जगते सभी पर तुम्हें का प्रिय वर जगते सभी पर तुम्हें एका प्रिय वर एति की गुहारी मोर तुम प्रेम हे ठाकुर एति की गुहारी मोर तुम प्रेम हे ठाकुर चित्तरे जे सन सदा जागे चित्तरे जे सन सदा जागे मागे मागे शरण तले शरण मागे 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 शरण तले शरण मागे अंतर परानुरागे अंतर परानुरागे आगे आगे शरण तले शरण मागे मागुछि एतिकी वर तुम्हें तो दया सागर मागुछि एतिकी वर तुम्हें तो दया सागर धौ चरण तुमार मनयन निरधार धौ चरण तुमार मनयन निरधार निशिदिन मन रस रागे निशिदिन मन रस रागे मागे मागे चरण तले शरण मागे 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 तले शरण मागे अंतर भरानुरागे अंतर भरानुरागे मागे मागे चरण तले शरण मागे
Jayaguru, Yogi Guru Sadhana Kalpa, Advice to Sadhaka, page 99. A few days later, the holy man returned and found the snake in a dying condition. He asked it, "Oh, why are you in this pitiable condition?" The snake replied, "Following your advice, I forsake violence, and it brought me into this miserable state." The holy man smiled and said, "I advised you only to give up cruelty, but I did not ask you to stop hissing. If anyone comes to torture you, according to the nature of a snake, you produce hissing sound. But don't bite anybody." The holy man advised thus and left the place. From that day onwards, when the snake saw anyone close by, he revived its previous fearful nature but did not bite. Nobody dared to go near it by watching its former violent nature. Therefore, I advise you to maintain 10% human behavior externally, but bear in mind that you will never harm anyone. If you are pure in mind, outside activity doesn't matter. Manaha karoti papani manolipyate patakaihi manasya tanmana bhutva na purnaina cha patakaihi. Jnana Sankalani Tantra 45. Hence, all actions should be performed with a firm mind. Remember, if one tortures me, one steals my article, one enters my house with an evil motive, the amount of agony I suffer will also be experienced by someone else if I treat him in the same manner. Realizing the feeling of your heart, behave with others in the same manner as you will expect others to behave with you. If man can live by eating forest products like fallen leaves, bitter and sour fruits and roots, what is the need to gather food by giving pain to others and torturing the weak? One should be contented with what one gets every day. Why do we suffer by comparing our condition with that of the rich? The over-ambitious people can never become happy. A poor man should think of a hungry man going without food, and at the end of the day should be at peace with sleeping on the torn mattress in the broken cottage. If one is unable to gather a food, if one is unable to gather a footwear in the winter season, he should not despise himself. On the other hand, he should treat himself very fortunate by remembering the fate of a lame man in comparison with his own fine and strong feet. A person having no son should be happy by thinking of miserable conditions of a father having a spoiled son. The ever blissful Parameshwara, that is the Supreme Lord, always does good to others. Instead of breaking down in tears due to the sad demise of the son, instead of fainting due to tragedy of house catching fire, instead of lamenting due to loss of wealth, one should think that he would have undergone severe suffering for the entire life for his son's damaging behavior. He would have been killed by the biting of a snake living in that house. He would have been assassinated by a miscreant because of greed for that wealth. In whatever condition you may be, you always remain thankful to Parameshwar and should live happily. How long does anyone live with ephemeral prosperity in this world? Why is anyone so much attached to the worldly bondage of a couple of days when the pure beams of childhood are drowning just at very short notice, and the strength and valor of a young age are short-lived like tides? Adulthood passes away like the play of a few days, because the glamour of the household life ends soon after its advent. Old age also withers away quickly with the denouncing note, I could not spend life with the right manner. I have given pain to such and such people. I should have behaved thus with him. Why does anyone use force against another? Why is so much tyranny against the weak? Why does anyone rejoice at insulting others? Why does anyone regret the loss of worldly possessions? But I forgot what I was just going to tell you. Yes, right and wrong of an action is not determined merely by outward expression without considering the role of mind behind him. One is celebrating the festivals like Dora and Durga Puja with huge pomp and grandeur, distributing food among the poor, but if the acts are performed with slightest of ego, all these go in vain and open the door to hell. The same action produces different fruits due to different motives behind it. People of all categories clean their body, but men and women with polluted and impure mind, while cleaning their body, look at their own body and think, by noticing shining golden color of our body, many people will be captivated and desire union with me. Thus, they try to clean their body more and more. As a result, it will no doubt clean their path to hell. But people with pious mind clean their body, treating it as the temple of God. As a result, they get the fruit of cleaning the temple of God. Moreover, conscious people, while cleaning their own body, develop disgust with it. This body with Navadvara, that is 9 openings, is made dirty by blood, flesh, stool, urine, and fourth, etc. If this body is not regularly cleaned, it becomes very much unclean and emits foul smell. Then why there is so much of attachment for this gross body? Consequently, mind will not run after a woman with shining golden appearance, the beautiful eyes spreading onto ears, rosy cheeks, slender waist, exquisite crimson of lips emerging from poetic imagination. Moreover, there is nothing categorized as anything virtue or vice. What is sinful in one circumstance in the mythology? A hunter named Baraka attained heavenly abode, even doing violence to animals, whereas Brahmana named Kausika suffered in hell by speaking truth. Therefore, good or bad of a thing is not adjudged from outward action. If mind is not connected with any action, one will not suffer from the fruit thereof. The mind of a man is cause of bondage because Mano eva manusyanang karanang bandha mokshayoho bandhaya visasaktan muktai nirbhisayang smritam. Annamanaska Gita 55. Mind is the cause of man's bondage and salvation. If mind is attached to material possession, it becomes the cause of bondage. The moment Vairaga, that is detachment, emerges, it ensures salvation. Shankaracharya, the embodiment of Lord Shankara, has said, Bandho hi ko jo visayanuragaha ko va vimaktihi visaye viraktihi. Aniratnamala. What is bondage? The deep craving of mind for enjoyment of worldly possession is called bondage. What is mukti? That is liberation. The absence of desire from worldly possession or disgust with it is called liberation. Therefore, if one is emptied of attachment, there is no wrong in resorting to any action. The attachment to any action is the only fault. Na madabhakshane doso na manse chamaithane prabhrutire sabhutanang nibhrutistu mahapara. Gita. There is no vice in drinking liquor, eating meat, or having sexual relationships. It is the natural inclination of all animals. But withdrawal from such enjoyment produces great result. That means any act emptied of attachment is the best act. Remaining on the path of truth, one may earn money as much as he likes, but he should not be crazy for it. Craze is attachment. Remember that everything belongs to God. We are merely gods for a few hours of indefinite time. Don't put the stamp of mine heavily on son, wife, relatives, friends, money, and other household things. The horrible death is dancing over our heads. If the thread of action, this world and material possessions will lie as before, these things also lied from time immemorial. Several people like me, my father, my grandfather, great-grandfather, and others focus their attentions on this house, this land, tank, garden, and the demonic eyes of endeavor to embrace these with compelling desire. But they were swept away by the current of time. These matters lie in the inexhaustive store of Him to whose these belong. I am also His servant. I have to quit all this the moment the farewell letter of death is received in this world. Just as a servant works in the house of his master and takes more care to preserve and protect the wealth of him, but he, of course, remembers and knows firmly, I have come to give service as a servant, and all this wealth and property do not belong to me. I have to quit these the moment I get the order from the master. We have also to think in that manner. Otherwise, we develop attachment to wealth and property, we have to roam around the world for a huge length of time in the form of ghosts. Jai.
Jayaguru. So this is our question answer time. Jayaguru. Since we are doing the third Sunday's Sangha Puja in English, so the question answers will also be in English. So I'm seeking Thakur Maharaj blessings for that, so that can give right answers in English. Okay, before that, so we'll quickly go over the materials which I read in Sangha Sevaka this morning. Okay, sorry, got a little distracted by the message. Yeah, so in Sangha Sevaka, they're basically talking about Guru and Sishya this time. They started with a sloka from Bhagavad Gita. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshino. So basically, a disciple who is the true seeker of knowledge. Okay, so goes to the Guru and prostrates, bows before him, and questions the Guru. Pariprasnena, meaning questioning the Guru. These are the questions I have, and please help me understand this. So they're saying that the Guru should have three types of knowledges. One is the knowledge of the self, truth of the self, knowledge of the Paramatma, knowledge of God, truth of the Supreme Soul, and the knowledge of life after death. What exactly happens to a person when the person dies? So these are the three main questions that they mentioned in the article. When we all know that when Thakur went to Bama Chepa, he asked, who am I? Right? So who am I? Is a very fundamental question. Am I this body? Then which part of this body am I am? I'm the entire body. Then if the body dies, what happens to me? So anyway, so these are some of the questions they mentioned. So again, a guru has to have the answers to this. That means the guru himself should be a realized person. Otherwise, the guru cannot answer. Then they mentioned that the service is so important, because Thakur himself has said this one, that through service you can obtain chitta suddhi. You can purify your mind through service. So they're saying service means sacrificing one's own happiness for the happiness of another. Often, one example we meaning at NSS, different speakers, the example of Chidananda Maharaj. Chidananda Maharaj, once felt that Thakur is thirsty. So he went and fetched a glass of water and offered to Thakur. Thakur said, "How did you know that I was thirsty?" Okay. The reason I pointed that out is there are many other instances, but for some reason, Chidananda Maharaj, this particular instance is given as an example. The other instances are Swami Swarupananda's events. Many times, once Thakur was in Puri and Swarupananda was with him as his sevaka, and Thakur, Swarupananda, suddenly felt that Thakur is going to come back from. Thakur was at the sea beach at that time. Thakur is going to come back and ask for tamaku. He hurried and prepared tamaku. When Thakur came back, and Thakur really asked for tamaku. So there have been so many incidents like that with Swarupananda. But anyway, just wanted to point that out. That Chidananda Maharaj incident is not the only incident. There have been many other incidents. Oops, I'm really running out of time. I'm sorry. Anyway, so they're basically talking about service, and finally they say that God has said that Manamana Bhava Majjaji Mang Namaskuru. Think about me. always, and Majjaji, meaning that worship me, and Mam Namaskuru, basically bow down to me, and then only you'll get all the Tattva Jnana and all that. So anyway, so let me stop here. Sorry, I took much longer than I should have. Any questions anybody has? No. Okay, so I want to come back to this first sloka again. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. This tad vidhi, often I have heard people misinterpreting it. So I just wanted to clarify that. So when they say tad vidhi, that a dha, in Odia we say dha. So it is not that dha, vidhi. It is not vidhi. It's vidhi. The difference is the regular vidhi is the niyama, the regulations, okay, the rules and regulations. That's vidhi. So they say that as per the rules and regulations, bow before him and all these things. That's not correct. It is vidhi, dutya, okay, DH. So what is that? What's the difference? The difference vidhi and vidhi, like I said, vidhi is niyama, rules and regulations. Vidhi has come from the word vid. Vid meaning knowledge. Okay, so to know. So vidhi meaning knowing him well. Tat vidhi pranipatena, knowing him well, then only bow before him and ask him those questions, pariprasna and seva. So tat pariprasna and seva, meaning ask questions to him and solve to him. Just wanted to clarify that know him. Again, yeah. So in this article also they have mentioned that the guru has to be qualified. If you don't accept a qualified person as guru and try to get tattva jnana, eventually you will get it, but it will take a much longer time, much longer. That's what they're saying, that something about the Brahmin they mentioned somewhere. Talking the Kula Guru, of course, that Kula Guru in Bengal, that's not as prevalent in Odisha, but in Bengal it's very prevalent, very widespread. That Kula Gurus meaning if a guru, his son becomes guru, his son becomes guru, his son. So that is how it goes. Even though they are not qualified, they have no idea what Tattva Jnana is, what Brahma Jnana is, what Atma Jnana is. Still, they take that as a business of their family. So the article says that without knowing how qualified your guru is, if you just accept him as guru, you are not going to get what we are really looking for. Anyway, we have a few more seconds before why session starts. So I just wanted to mention one thing that I will for the first time in our sangha, or probably anywhere, I don't know, anywhere under NSS branch sanghas, we are going to sing a song in English. Again, I'm really seeking our Thakur Maharaj's blessings that this is something new we are going to do. Dear Thakur, please help us. Our sole intention is nothing but to spread your words, spread your teachings, spread your ideology throughout the world. With that intention, we're starting this Sangha Puja in English, so that it doesn't get remain confined to Odias only in this country. So please help us. Please bless us. Jayaguru. Now I'm requesting Srija to sing the song in English, and I had forwarded the lyrics in our WhatsApp group. So there is no need for her to explain the meaning in English. So Bhajan Maharaj, please let your YA follow along by looking at the message, the lyrics there, so that they understand what we're singing. Srija is going to sing. Just for your information, this has been approved by Kendra. Just in case somebody has any doubt, this song and another song we'll sing in February. Both have been approved by Kendra. Jayaguru. Srija, please go on.
Okay, girl. I seek you, Lord, yet find you not. I try so hard, but gain you not. I seek you, Lord, yet find you not. I try so hard, but gain you not. I wish to know, yet fail to see. I wish to know, yet fail to see. Still keep your form inside of me. Still keep your form inside of me. I seek you, Lord, yet find you not. I try so hard, but gain you not. I've never crossed your boundless sea, nor drowned in lofty ecstasy. I've never crossed your boundless sea, nor drowned in lofty ecstasy. I try to serve, but fail to sing. I try to serve, but fail to sing. Yet praise your name in everything. Yet praise your name in everything. I seek you, Lord, yet find you not. I try so hard, but gain you not. I know no rights, no prayers or art, but keep you shining in my heart. I know no rights, no prayers or art, but keep you shining in my heart. So empty hands are all I bring. So empty hands are all I bring. My heart holds you, my everything. My heart holds you, my everything. I seek you, Lord, yet find you not. I try so hard, but gain you not. No strength have I for service pure. My thoughts and deeds are never sure. No strength have I for service pure. My thoughts and deeds are never sure. Yet trusting still your lotus feet. Yet trusting still your lotus feet. I wait in faith, my life complete. I wait in faith, my life complete. I seek you, Lord, yet find you not. I try so hard, but gain you not. I seek you, Lord, yet find you not. I try so hard, but gain you not. I wish to know, yet fail to see. I wish to know, yet fail to see. Still keep your form inside of me. Still keep your form inside of me. I seek you, Lord, yet find you not. I try so hard, but gain you not. I seek you, Lord, yet find you not. I try so hard, but gain you not. I try so hard, but gain you not. I try so hard, but gain you not.
Jayaguru young aspirants, let's start with attendance. Aditi.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Adhibasa. Icy.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Anhe.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Ansh.
Jayaguru, he's coming.
Jayaguru Anshul. Arnav.
Jayaguru Arnav isn't here today.
Jayaguru Aryan.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Ashrita.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Jamu.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Divyam. Timmy. Jagda.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Netik.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Nivriti.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Pratyusha. Pratyush.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Prayushi.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Sanvi.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Sharanya.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Saraswat.
Jayaguru Saraswat isn't here.
Jayaguru Charlotte.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Sarthak. Bobby.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Shilpi.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Shreyasi. Jayaguru Jimmy.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Simran.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Shrija.
Jayaguru Ma.
Suhani.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Yukta.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Okay. Was there anyone that came in after I called you? Okay. Yeah. That was a lovely song, and I really enjoyed hearing that song in English, and that core message of it of us trying to us by our own strength, not really being able to progress, but through the thing that we can hold on to, and what really guides us through the spiritual path is chakra, and is him pulling us along. So we talk a lot about having that faith in him. We talk a lot about wanting to progress spiritually, and so those things are always important for us to think about. And I know we always talk about, even when we have the songs in audio, we talk about the translation so we can think about what these songs are expressing in that devotion. But it's nice for those of us as our audio isn't as good, or not needing to have that translation, being able to feel that and understand that in English. So I'm glad through Thakur's grace that we have a couple English songs now. So today we are going to be finishing chapter 10 of the Gita, and in this so far, Arjuna has asked Lord Krishna to kind of explain more about who he is, because he has revealed himself as he's explained at various points essentially that he is Brahman, and Arjuna has asked him to explain his various glories, explain and what Lord Krishna has done is explain through various comparisons, trying to elucidate all of the aspects of who he is, and enumerate those to Arjuna by his request. So before we finish with that and go through the last few verses of that explanation that Lord Krishna is giving, let's remind ourselves, why is it important to us to understand who Thakur is? Why would this question that Arjun asked, like, explain all of this to me. Why would this be something that we also would want to know? Why do we want to understand who Thakura is? I think, why would we want to understand who Thakura is?
Jayaguru, I think we want to understand that just because like it's important to obviously know about him and like what exactly he's done. Jayaguru.
Yeah, it's like for us, when we read about Thakura's life and other various aspects of him and explanations he's given of himself, or we're reading the Gita, and it's the sort of thing, we want to know where he came from. We want to be able to relate to him in that way and understand him in that way. Why else, especially with reading the Gita, Lord Krishna explaining his various qualities, those are the same way we can think of those qualities in Thakura as well. I see why do you think, why else do you think it's important for us, or why else do you think we would want to know more about Thakura and the various aspects of him?
Jayaguru, so that we could learn how to follow the path that he is leading us towards, and how we could understand him better and understand what he's asking us to do better, Jayaguru?
Yeah, so understanding him better, understanding how to follow him better, because he is the one guiding us on the spiritual journey. And if we truly understand who he is, what he's doing, and understand the grandness or overarching aspects of who he is, and that omnipotence, that omnipresence, those sorts of things, if we truly understand that, if we truly feel that, that helps us a lot in our spiritual journey and understanding him and in going forward and what he wants us to do and how he can bring us through that spiritual pathway. So that's all important parts of this. So let's go ahead. Sanvi, would you be able to read the verses for us today?
Jayaguru, sure. Jayaguru, Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 10, Part 4, Verse 34. I am the all-devouring death, and I am the origin of those things that are yet to be. Amongst feminine qualities, I am fame, prosperity, fine speech, memory, intelligence, patience, and compassion. Verse 35. Amongst the hymns in the Samaveda, know me to be the Brihat Sama. Amongst poetic meters, I am the Gayatri. Of the 12 months of the Hindu calendar, I am the harvest month, and of seasons I am spring, which brings forth flowers. Verse 36. I am the gambling of the cheats and the splendor of the splendid. I am the victory of the victorious, the resolve of the resolute, and the virtue of the virtuous. Verse 37. Amongst the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudeva, and amongst the Pandavas, I am Arjun. Know me to be Ved Vyas amongst the sages, and Shukracharya amongst the great thinkers. Verse 38. I am just punishment amongst means of preventing lawlessness, and strategy amongst those who seek victory. Amongst secrets, I am silence, and in the wise, I am their wisdom. Verse 39. I am the generating seed of all living beings, O Arjun. No creature moving or non-moving can exist without me. Verse 40. There is no end to my divine manifestations, O conqueror of enemies. What I have declared to you is a mere sample of my infinite glories. Verse 41. Whatever you see as beautiful, glorious, or powerful, know it to spring from but a spark of my splendor. Verse 42. What need is there for all this detailed knowledge, O Arjun? Simply know that by one fraction of my being, I pervade and support this entire creation. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, thank you for reading that for us. Before we go into discussion, does anyone have any questions?
Jayaguru, this is Pratish. I had a question on why it labels like fame, prosperity, and fine speech as feminine qualities.
Yeah. So Jayaguru, so that is so that in Hindu scriptures, so the Upanishads and things that come before, they go through a lot of categorization, and so in that, if you have the which when he's explaining this to Arjuna would have had all of this background knowledge. He mentions them as feminine qualities because in when they describe in these texts and at this time when they describe the good qualities of women in these works and in this structure, these specific qualities are the, I guess, the virtues are the good qualities for women of the time. That doesn't necessarily mean, as we read it now, that we have to think of them as things only women have, but we can take it as just virtuous qualities overall, but it's contextual here. Does that answer the question?
Jayaguru, yes.
Jayaguru, I have a question.
Yeah.
It says amongst the Pandavas, I'm Arjun. Does that mean Arjun was the best Pandava?
In ways. So that is verse. Sorry, I'm checking my notes to see how. So okay, 37. Yeah. So he has at other points he's giving you like the best example or the prime example. So in a lot of ways he's talking about kind of the head of things. So like in earlier verses he talked about of the Devatas, he's Indra, which is Indra is the king of the gods. And so you can take that in that way, but then also you can take him as the best, or he is of the Pandavas, he's Arjuna is the one that's fighting the battle and is primary in his role in the war at this point of time and has a lot of virtues. So you can take it in that way, and also you can think of it as knowing all of Arjuna's qualities. That's what he's kind of referring to there. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. Anyone else? While we're here, probably the other one, he says, amongst descendants of Vrishni, I'm Vasudeva. The Vrishni lineage, so he's talking about Lord Krishna is one of the descendants of Vrishni. So he's talking about his lineage, and so he's saying that his opulence is he's talking about another particular thing, but he's saying basically his opulence is, if we've talked about before avatars of Lord Vishnu, but he's saying that he's talking about the lineage and giving the example of Vasudeva as that which becomes all of the incarnations. And so he's kind of giving an idea of the expansive nature of who he is there. I want to point that out while we're here. Okay, now coming back. So we did talk about in verse 34, it says feminine qualities, but these qualities, fame, prosperity, fine speech, memory, intelligence, patience, and compassion. He's talking about these qualities as good qualities to have, and saying that he embodies those. So just thinking about these qualities, can we think of those are good things to have. He says that he is also the first part of that line, all devouring death and origin of things that are yet to be. Aditi, so that first line of that first verse, all devouring death and origin of things that are yet to be. What? How do you interpret that? What? When you think about those aspects of Lord Krishna, of Jayaguru Pranam, what does that bring to mind? Or how do you understand that?
Jayaguru, when it says that, like, I'm the all-devouring death and, like, origin, I think that means, like, he's the cycle, like, the cycle of, like, life and death. Like, he's, like, all of those, and, like, he's, like, the things that, like control, like, all of that. And I think, like, that's kind of how I interpret it, like, as a cycle of life. Jayaguru.
Yeah, we can think of it. And we talk about a lot how God is everything and everywhere, and so that's, I was going to say, like this circle of life and death. He's in all of it, and if you can conceptualize that, it gives you the enormity of what he is and how pervasive and in everything he is. So then moving on to verse 35, he says that he is both spring and the harvest month in the Hindu calendar. So that particular imagery being both spring and the harvest month, what do we think, Nathik, what do we think when Lord Krishna describes himself as spring and the harvest month? How do you interpret that when thinking about what he is?
Jayaguru, the way I interpret that he is the harvest month in spring is like, it's probably the season where all the crops start growing. So it results in like more food for people and just like a better health for people, Jayaguru.
Yeah, so it's like, it's a positive aspect. Harvest, that's when we get all of the food. Spring is when the world kind of comes back to life, especially here where we have the 4 seasons. And so he's kind of, he's equating himself to life and the giving part of things, and bountiful harvest, the things that we feel really positively that we need to survive. And he is that. So we can see that aspect of him. And then kind of moving forward here, he talks about in verse 36, he's the gambling of the cheats, the splendor of the splendid, victory for the victorious, resolve of the resolute, virtue of the virtuous. What do these comparisons all have in common? What particular aspect of himself is he explaining here by giving this, giving these comparisons all in a row here? Yukta, what do you think?
Krishna is saying that he is the originator of all these things. So he's gamble and victorious victor, Jayaguru.
Oh, yeah, so he's saying he's the thing that they're kind of all seeking, that it all comes down to. So even if we don't think of, like, these aren't necessarily things all that we're trying to strive for, but the cheats people, gambling is what they're looking for. People that chase victory, victorious, they want victory, and he's the thing that you're chasing. He's the defining characteristic in all of these. He is the origin of all of these things, both regardless of what it is, regardless of what value you put to it, he is all of those things. Moving forward, we talked about Vasudeva. So then verse 38 is similar. So it says, punishment amongst means of preventing lawlessness, strategy amongst those who seek victory, among secrets I am silence, and in the wise I am their wisdom. So verse 38, how do we interpret that? What aspect is he discussing in verse 38? And how do we think of God with those comparisons? Bobby?
Jayaguru, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, verse 38, just looking at those comparisons, how does that, what aspect of God is that describing?
Jayaguru, he talks about how he is just punishment amongst means of preventing lawlessness. I guess trying to say that he's basically representing good qualities and wanting to show that the good versus evil side of it. And then he also talks about how amongst secrets he is silence and wise, and in the wise I'm their wisdom. So I guess again just representing good qualities. Jayaguru.
Yeah, those are, so they're good qualities in the sense like these are the qualities that are needed for those things to exist. So for secrets, in order to keep a secret, you need silence. You can't be spreading that. For the wise, for people to be wise, to know what they're doing, they need that wisdom. He is that wisdom, whatever it might be. Strategy for victory, you need some kind of strategy to get you there. He's kind of getting to this point, which then he says outright in verse 39. He says he's the generating seed of all living beings. And no creature, living or non-living, exists without him. So I think I mentioned before, he's kind of the origin, or he says explicitly, he is the origin of all things. Nothing exists without him. All of these things mentioned before, he gives the example, especially in verse 38. He says people can't be wise without wisdom. Secrets can't be kept without silence. He is the originator of all of these things. Nothing exists without him. So then he goes on to kind of conclude and summarize all of this in verses 40 through 42. So he has, in all of these verses up until this point in chapter 10, once he started speaking, described himself in various comparisons, and we've discussed all of the commonalities and exactly what he's saying about himself. And in all of these verses, all of these comparisons he's given, all of these aspects of himself that he's enumerated for us, what does he say in verse 40? How much of himself in these 30-ish verses where he's described himself, how much of himself has he actually described? Shreyasi? How much of himself has Lord Krishna described?
Jayaguru, can you repeat the question?
So in verse 40, Lord Krishna tells us how much of 30 verses giving all sorts of descriptions of what he is and what he can do. In verse 40, what does he tell us about the stuff he's actually about himself?
Jayaguru, he says that he's infinite and that what he's like showing is just a part of that. So he is like everlasting, eternal, and infinite. Jayaguru.
Right. So he's saying what he's talked about, all of these aspects, all of these descriptors are really only a small portion of what he is. He is infinite, he's extremes and everything and all of that. And it's really hard for us to grasp what infinite means, but it means that anything that he's discussed so far is a drop in the bucket compared to what he actually is and what it means to be infinite. So then he says, whatever you see as beautiful, glorious, or powerful, know it to be just a spark of my splendor. So anything that we've perceived, or we understand of him, that we've seen of him, is just a small portion of what that whole thing is, of what all of that means. And then he ends it by asking Arjuna, what need is there for all of this detailed knowledge? Why, and simply know that by one fraction of my being, I pervade and support the entire creation. So why is he asking that question? What is he saying? Arjuna needs to understand here. Ansh?
Jayaguru, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so that very last verse, asks that question, and then says, Arjuna, this is what you need to know. So what is he saying? What is Arjuna supposed to take away from all of this? And when Krishna asks that question, what is he saying to Arjuna, essentially? What is he?
Jayaguru? Yeah, I think that what he's trying to say is that he is just much greater than anything that we can imagine that Arjuna could have imagined, and that he is like the ultimate, I guess, paragon of good and also evil, because he really is everything that the universe is made out of. Jayaguru?
I agree. Yeah. So he's saying he's so much more than all of these descriptions are, and what he's saying is, he can keep describing himself all day. He's saying, you don't need to, he says, what need is there for all this detailed knowledge? He's saying, when he says that it's a rhetorical question, he's saying, you don't need this. You don't need to know every single aspect and every single detail, because he is everything. Anything he's going to describe here, as he's done, and he's sat through and he's explained all of these things about him for 30, 40 verses, that's still only a fraction of what he is, because he is everything. So understanding that he pervades all and he supports all of creation, and he is, like you said, Anshul, like good aspects, evil aspects, whatever it may be, there's no valuation on any of it. He is just everything and everywhere, and he's the origin of all things. Those sort of overarching themes of who he is, those are the important things to focus on. But trying to detail it out and explain it in that way isn't necessary for Arjun's knowledge. So with that, we are out of time, and we'll review this all next month as we normally do. But this time we'll have Vinu, which I believe is Pratish today. So Pratish, when you're ready. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, I'm thankful for the opportunity today to do Seva and share my thoughts and experiences. Recently, I felt that I'm standing at one of the largest crossroads I would expectedly face in my own life.
Having so many options in front of me should feel exciting, but instead it feels much too overwhelming. And every choice seems to depend on so many factors. What I'm good at, what I like, what will allow me to live, and what will allow me to grow as a person. I'm at that point where I need to choose what career to take, what extracurriculars to have, what goals I need to set for myself. But during these moments of overthinking, I usually pause and remember Thakura. And in my mind, I put these worries at his feet and then trust that he is watching over me. What makes this even more difficult is that it's not as simple as just choosing one option and slowly figuring it out along the way. Because for every possible path that I have, there's so much that needs to be achieved in such a short time. I'm already 16, and it feels like 18 will come in the eye of a blink, blink of an eye. That sense of time passing so quickly adds a lot more pressure because I worry that if I choose wrong, I may set my life on a path that I won't really enjoy. But at times like this, I find myself sometimes silently praying to Thakura, but not for answers about what I should do, but so that when I make these decisions, he will make sure that I follow the path, whether they're good or not. But this fear doesn't come from not having opportunities, but it comes from having too many and not knowing which one is right for me. I find myself constantly comparing paths in my head, asking whether I'll enjoy daily work, whether I can sustain it for a long time, whether it will allow me to live without regret. But at the same time, I know that no path comes without struggle and hard work. My goal is enjoyment and relaxation, and it's what I dream towards, but it shouldn't be something that I think will only happen once I finish everything else in life. It has to be a part of my daily life. And this relates to the issue of happiness and how some people seem to be unable to achieve it even though they have all the money in the world. And with this, I'd like to add an analogy that I heard on the radio one time. It goes like this. Happiness is like a finish line that keeps being moved farther away. Someone tells himself, I'll be happy once high school's over. High school ends, but now the finish line shifts to college. I'll be happy once I get into a good college. Now college starts, and suddenly it becomes, I'll be happy when I graduate. Then when I get a job. Then after that, it'll be when I get an even better job. And then when I get more money. And along the way, new obstacles appear. Then, for example, health problems show up, and then happiness is postponed once again until those are solved. At no point did happiness disappear in these people's lives, though. It just was never missing, and it was simply never allowed to exist because it was always scheduled for later. Waiting for happiness is like standing at a train station where no train is coming. The problem is not the delay of the train itself or happiness. The problem is believing happiness is something that arrives instead of something that is chosen. If you always decide happiness comes after the next milestone, the next fix, or the next version of yourself, then nothing that happens will ever be enough. Happiness only exists when you stop waiting for permission to feel it. In reflecting on this story, I realized that Thakur doesn't ask us to wait for the perfect moment to be content, but to remain steady and aware in the moments that we are given, so we can always take advantage of the situation. And this sort of represents how the easygoing life I wish for will never arrive, but still in my mind, it won't arrive until I accept that it's a part of what I do every day until the end. And even with this all thinking, though, I'm still human with an imaginative mind. We're taught to serve and give up our attraction for the world. So in this sense, our decisions are really meaningless. But right now, I'm very much in this world dealing with decisions that will shape my future. But with this, I'm beginning to understand that the stage of life is not really separate from spirituality. It's pretty similar. The confusion and the pressure and all of this are part of my growth. And then this crossroad exists to teach me rather than give me the immediate clarity of what I should do. I realize that, as Susan Jeffers states, the only certainty is that life is uncertain, meaning that no choice will ever feel completely safe or perfect. What I can do, though, is focus on sincerity. Sincerity in things like learning, effort, and then understanding myself. Instead of fearing the future and what comes ahead, I'm trying to accept that I just need to go forward even if I don't have the complete confidence. I pray to Thakur that not for a clear answer, but he can give me strength and support to find an outcome that I can live with. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. First of all, Jayaguru Pranam to Shree Shree Thakur, all Bhai, Ma, and young aspirants. Today is an auspicious day. It is the day of this year when we are blessed by the opportunity of Sangha Pali. I feel scared while expressing my views in front of the Sangha. I believe that Thakur is always present in the Sangha. So I wonder, what should I speak in front of Thakur? A small incident. Once I came across a saint in India during my graduation studies. The saint is a well-known spiritual person. I asked him, how do I bring the attention of my guru? And then the saint asked me, who is your guru? So I replied to him, Thakur Sri Sri Nigamananda Saraswati Deva. After hearing this, the saint remained silent for a while, and then he said, sometimes you have devotion but no fear, and then the other times you have fear but no devotion. That's why you should have both devotion as well as fear, which makes a disciple perfect. This fear is not regarded as a panic, but to realize that Gurudev is watching all the time. Therefore, before making any commitments in the Sangha, I'm trying to be careful. From last year, I started filling Dinolipi every day. And for the current year, 2026, I pray Sri Sri Thakur's blessings to perform Padhaya every day. I believe Guru Shakti is present in Thakur's books, and my whole aim is to eliminate the unnecessary worries, the worries about like what will happen in the future. Now there are a lot of discussion going on for astrology. The planet Jupiter or planet Guru transits with rapid acceleration. They call it as the Guru Atichari. And this comes roughly about once in every 84 years. During such transit, major changes happen in the world. And last time this happened during 1942 till 1950, and that's when the World War II broke out. And then later, India, Pakistan, these two new countries got independence. So new countries are formed. And again, this Jupiter rapid acceleration started from the year 2025 till 2043. So it's roughly about 16 years. And which is not usual. It's very unusual to have such long time for Guru Atichari. So that's why at this time, I feel it is extremely important praying Thakur and reading his books every day. And that is what I want to take it forward for the year 2026 to regularly do this Swadhyaya. And with this, I end my Bhava Vinimaya. I pray at his lotus feet to bless us. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. When the Bhava Vinimaya start, I always confused and scared. And yesterday I called Raja Bhai, can I do that Bhava Vinimaya in Oriya? And he said, he's okay, you can do that. But the last night I got a text message from the Anu Bhai, so everything should be in English. So I'll try my best to explain and express my Bhava in English. As Thakur says, Besti Sadhana and Samashti Sadhana. As we know, the Besti Sadhana is every day we do puja at Gurahasana, and Samashti Sadhana we do at Sangha. And as a Sangha Niti, we do any kind of seva. Before we do any seva, we must take permission from the Sangha or Savapati. That is the kind of help us to make more discipline and Chitta Suddhi to me. The Sangha helps me build a disciplined life, which benefits to day my professional life. This year, many things changes in my life. So every difficult time, I chant Jayaguru Mahamud Namo, and that gives me strength and inner peace. Thakur always says, I am always with you and all the time. That's give always, peace in my mind. For example, we all remember that Thakur is a Tantrika Guru, Bhamakepa, when that the relationship between the Guru and Sishya. So when Thakur want to do the Chitta Sadhana, I mean Sabha Sadhana, so he is very afraid to do that, but Guru's advice and that gave Thakur's inner strength and peace that to do the Chitta Sadhana, and while he was doing that sadhana, his guru was watching far away from that what he's doing. The same thing to us. Always Thakur watching us what we are doing today, and all the things he knows and what we doing and everyday activities. So I pray that Sri Thakur bless me so that I will properly perform seva that I assigned the Sangha for this year, and that make me more truer to the Thakur and the Sangha. Thank you. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Today the second session of the Sangha Puja is coming to an Jai Guru.
Ajit bhai, na ki puchhanti? Sorry.
Again.
Ajit bhai. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay. I thought the next part probably started invitation. I'm sorry. sorry. Go ahead.
Jai Guru. Today the second session of the Sangha Puja is coming to an end. I invite Shree Shree Thakur for Madhyana Bhoga and evening puja. After offering bhoga to Shree Shree Thakur, I invite all Bhai, Ma and young aspirants to partake in the prasad. Jai Guru.
Sharanya.
Hey Guru. I invite Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj, all Bhais, Mas, and young aspirants to the next Sangha Puja to be held on January 25th. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Pranara Thakur, Saranya, Bhanima, and I invite you for our next Sangha Puja, which will be on 25th January 2026. Along with that, I request and invite all Bhais, Mas, and young aspirants to join the Sangha Puja on time and make it a successful and give us an opportunity to serve. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. 25th, we have me and Saranya and Mehapai as Bali, and I invite Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj and all Bhai and Ma and all young aspirants to join the puja and make it success. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, I'm praying to Shree Thakur for forgiveness for today's Seva Puja on behalf of all Maharaj and Bhajan and aspirants. I pray to Thakur that I'll not repeat the same mistake in the future. Thank you, Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Dinanath bhikhya kare Sri Charan Dinanath bhikhya kare Sri Charani Taba katha rakhithibi manane smarani Deva tava katha rakhithibi manane smarani bahar ki hela nahi nakari so jana bahar ki hela nahi nakari so jana karibe prathami nija svabhava marjana deva karibe prathami nija svabhava marjana পরদোষ খোঁজে বলে না ধাইবা মনা পরদোষ খোঁজে বলে না ধাইবা মনা লাগিথিবে সদা করি আত্ম সংশোধন দেব লাগিথিবে সদা করি আত্ম সংশোধন বচনে আলাপে হেউ রসনা সঞ্জত বচনে আলাপে হেউ রসনা সঞ্জত ঘুঞ্চি যাও অবসাদ দেহর জড়ত্ব দেব ঘুঞ্চি যাও অবসাদ দেহর জড়ত্ব উচিত ভাষণে নহু କିଛି ଅନ୍ତରାୟ ଉଚିତ ଭାଷଣେ ନହୁ କିଛି ଅନ୍ତରାୟ ଯଥା କର୍ମ ହେଉ ଚିତ୍ତ सुधीर सहाय देव यथा कर्म हे चित्त सुधीर सहाय निरल स्वभावे तव आदेश पालन निरल स्वभावे तव आदेश पालन करी जीवी हेउ ताहि प्राणर स्फुरण देव करी जीवी हेउ ताहि प्राणर स्फुरण न मानिबी काहि क्यों बारण बंधन 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 जहि थाए रही थाउ तब पदे मन देव जहि थाए रही थाउ तब पदे मन जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय 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 जय गुरु
जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु गुरु जय 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 Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai Guru 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 Jai Guru. Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai.
Jayaguru, Bhai Mane Mamane, or Bhajan Maharaj, I should say. I think that went all right. The first trial, doing Sangha Puja in English mostly. Anu Bhai, what do you think? What is your comment or your observation? You are the chair of the committee.
Jayaguru, yes, bhai, overall it went well by Thakur's grace. So we hope to continue. We found we might have some mistakes in the while reading. So we'll try to correct that in our next session.
Yeah, actually, I noticed one word, Khorbokaya. Amulya Bhai was Khorbokaya. That is why Thakur couldn't see him. I think it is translated as thin. But if I understand Khorbokaya correctly, Khorbokaya is short, not thin. Anyway, so that is why Thakur couldn't see him because you are behind people and Anyway, so I think overall it went well. I also agree. No, I think Bisu Bhai also pulled it off. Honestly, that's how I felt. He did well. Again, just seriously, this goes to everybody. Goes for everybody. That Bhava Vinaya, those who have taken, we have said this multiple times before. Every month, third Sunday will be English version. So if you are not comfortable in English, you may want to switch your Pali, but do that ahead of time. But again, the reason I told Bisu Bhai to do Bhava Vinaya in Odia, I said, I asked him to do a hybrid approach. Start in English. If you cannot do in English, continue in English or switch to Odia. The reason for that is Bhava Vinaya is Thakur's Adesh, his directive. Well, more Trutiya Adesh is Bhava Vinaya karo. The day he started initiated Satsang. More Trutiya Adesh, his third directive. So it is his Adesh. So if because of the language barrier, we cannot do Bhava Vinaya, we are Thakur Adesh Langhana korchanti. So to me, to all of us, it's the priority. Bhava Vinaya is number one. Okay. Then I could not do in English. I am switching to Odia because Thakur Adesh. Bhava Vinaya koriba. So that was my reason. Anyway, another thing, just a clarification quickly before you go to attendance or any other announcements. That is, there was somebody pointed out that we read Parichaya Patra. I read Parichaya Patra in Odia. That was a decision we made when we applied for this approval. English version approval, Paricha Patra was not a part of that. It was basically doing Sangha Sevaka, doing Jayaguru Thakur Nigamananda, Bhava, all these things, song also. But Paricha Patra was not a part of that. The thing is, I can do, we have English Paricha Patra, we can do Paricha Patra in English, read Paricha Patra in English, but our Sammalini Prarthana is not in English. Asana Mandira Prarthana is not in English. We can translate as Asana Mandira Prarthana, that's okay, because that is our text. Asana Mandira Nirmana Prarthana is our text. We can translate and get Paricha approval. But Sammalini Prarthana, that is not our text. Most of it is Kendra's text. I don't think there is an English version. There might be one. We have to find out. If there is an English version, yes, we can switch. Switch meaning our second part to it, and do that. But if there is no English version, we can translate and give to Kendra for the approval. The approval process is going to take long. The reason for that is, if I understand it correctly, Sammalini Prarthana it is Durga Chand Bhai's version. We cannot change anything there. Meaning the current text, Odia text I'm talking about. Because there was an effort to change the Paricha Patra. There was very strong opposition to that. So things that are there we cannot change. So for that reason, any translation we do and Kendra approves it, that that stays forever, kind of. So for that reason, I don't think Kendra will approve it just like that. Meaning Satyabhai cannot just approve it just like that. It will probably have to go through maybe their editor board, I don't know, but definitely their governing body, because they're making a final version, in English. So that anyway, long story short, so that is the reason, we have not done that yet, but maybe we can try. Nothing is going to happen until Sammalini is over, Pradeshika is over. So anyway, so that's the clarification. So for now, we'll have Paricha Patra Patha in Odia, so that you can continue the whole thing in Odia. Paricha Patra Patha and Sammalini Prarthana and Asana Mandira Nirmana Prarthana. Jayaguru. So anything else, Anubhai, before we go to Vishwithai?
Jayaguru bhai,
ସେଇଥିରେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଥିଲା ଯେ ଆମର ଯୋଉ ବୈଦିକ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ପରେ ଯୋଉ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା କରୁଛେ ରିପିଟ୍ କରୁଥିଲେ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ, that we are not going to do. Maybe English ରେ ଯୋଉଟା ପଢା ହଉଛି ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା, we will not do repeat, just 1%, right? Yeah,
right. Yeah, because we are making the English text available to you all, so that you can also read along, Prathanata. Yeah, good point.
Jayaguru bhai खाली मोटे finance ये विषय कह देबी टिके हमर annual budget टा almost तैयारी हे जायछि सुनाउ छ भाई हां हमर annual budget टा almost तैयारी हे जायछि आ PCB approve कर दे छै मोटे के संपादक आ सभापति के feedback नै कि तो correction करके आज काली भीतर पठे देबी आ मा भाई माने मो जानि छी जणे भाई बद रिक्वेस्ट करथले रिसीट ताकर कंट्रीब्यूशन पई मो सेटा भी आज काली भीतर ताको धीरे धीरे करी सब मा भाई मन को पठे देबी जयगुरु
हाँ जयगुरु आमर जो परिचय पत्र एप्लिकेशन सब समस्त पठाया कथा आम देखुली 17 जन भाई मामा अप्लाई कर वी हैव अबाउट भाई मामा मान 85 गला वर्ष देइथिले जे माने जमर 17 जन माने कोन होचे ना हमर आपण माने अप्लाई करछंती वेबसाइट रे माने कर गले से जो अछि ऐपटा अछि सेतरे कले सेव कर देले so then you have a link जोटा कि आपन एप्लिकेशन टा ऑटोमेटिक सेटा देखेबो पीडीएफ फाइल टा so that is the application actually though you have to read and submit upload करिवे गूगल ड्राइव रे सेटा को करू नांती प्राय सेटा 70 एप्लिकेशन आसी सिठी तो आई एम जस्ट रिक्वेस्टिंग समस्त अप्लाई करछन से स्प्रेडशीट रे जाउछ देखि पाउछ जे आपन अप्लाई करले आपन प्रणाम देखा जाउछि about I think 30 or 45 into अप्लाई करछन but you have to upload your application से एप्लिकेशन टा केंद्र जीवो जो आपण अप्लाई करछन जो परिचय पत्र एप्लिकेशन दैट गोस टू केंद्र दैट आई हैव टू गिव टू देम along with हमर गृहासन आपनकर जो अनुमति पूजा करिया पे अनुमति नित्य पूजा करिया अनुमति आ पाठचक्र जो हमर अछि पांचटा पाठचक्र एप्लिकेशन जीवो एसो एप्लिकेशन नासु केंद्र को जीवो तो आपनकर परिचय पत्र एप्लिकेशन टा अपलोड करिवे से गूगल ड्राइव रे जस्ट वांटेड टू रिमाइंड जो माने अपलोड करछिन माने अबाउट 17 ना करछिन हां सेटा इंपोर्टेंट हां
मैं खाली जस्ट क्विकली भाई जो कहले लिंक ता अछि आपण जदी जिबे से जो साइन अप कर देले देखबा आपण प्रणामी केते कोन देखेला तार ऊपर आपण देखिबे गोटे थियो आपन ना देखौतबो एउटा प्रिंट साइन देखौतबो एटा if you click on that, so it will bring up the PDF file. Then you can hit Control P, maybe Control P to print as and save as PDF. Then it will save as PDF on your desktop. Then upload that. This is the link in Google Drive. Set upload kar debe. Just to that's the process. Just if you are getting confused, let us know. This is we can help you out. Guide you through that. We can guide you through.
हाँ actually ये process टा आर वर्ष रहिबनी हमर टेक्नोलॉजी कमिटी तांकर अलगा माने सिस्टम करछंती एटा ए वर्ष भाबतली रिलीज हापे हे पेलानी तो एटा टी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड अछि तरे एटा सब आपण जेतरे फिल अप करछंती बहुत बडा अछि आइटम्स लाइन आइटम जोटा कि $0 रहउ सब ए सब न यू हैव टू एंटर एमते होछि केतोडा जिंस ई सब लिमिटेशन टा आर वर्ष रहिबनी मत लागुछि एबे जो अछि देन जस्ट प्लीज नो बेयर यू दैट do the same process एटा एमते आप करूथला हम आगुरु ए वर्ष से अछि सेमतिया ते अपलोड करले एक्चुअली मु जाउछि जो सम्मेलन प्रादेशिक सम्मेलन एस मते सो सबमिट करिया पड़े नै कि दे देले से मानक हमर सेवा सरी गला हम त दे देलु एप्लीकेशन अपनाम दे देलु जहां हमर जहां अछि संघ तरफरु आ एप्लीकेशन अपन ग्राहक एप्लीकेशन सो दे देले सेट से माने अप्रूव करिवे so I just want to request you all please try to submit it today or tomorrow in कर देले मते सुविधा I am traveling right this week to Odisha. So it's about परिचय पत्र पर कहली आ जति का डाउट थाए मते टेस्ट करंतु I can help you one and one. Okay जय आ गोटे थला शरत भाई जो कहथिले वार्षिक उत्सव दिन जे प्रणामी चाहुतिले प्रादेशिक सम्मेलन को देन I reached out to individually many of you से तो गोटे रेस्पॉन्स आसी छी भलो रेस्पॉन्स आसी छी जस्ट वांटेड टू थैंक जो माने सो सपोर्ट करले आ हमर जहाँ नंबर है देन इट विल गो टू केंद्र जो मान सपोर्ट कले से मानकर कंट्रीब्यूशन सो केंद्र ऑलरेडी जाइछि से बैंक पठै छथि so we got I think around 2.5 lakhs after that around I think 11 lakh हला हमरो जो सम्मेलन कंट्रीब्यूशन से जो प्रादेशिक सम्मेलन जे होछि आ ता बाद हम दैनिक सेवा बळे हम संगरो I think about 89 members हला हमें सपोर्ट कले दिन सेवा बळे सम्मेलन सेवा होछि हमरो 27 तारिख दिन मन बितांतो 27 दिन हमर छै सम्मेलन सेवा आपन से दिन मन बितांतो so we'll go to attendance. Anything anybody has before you go to attendance? Oh. नुआ परिचय पत्र जो माने सब अन्य जो माने गेस्ट अछंती चाहउछंती परिचय पत्र करिया पे दिस द टाइम टू यू कैन अप्लाई फॉर न्यू परिचय पत्र तार एप्लीकेशन अलगा ऑनलाइन जो एप्लीकेशन हेड जे रिन्यूअल जो माने गेस्ट मेंबर अछंती कि जो चाहउछंती ट्रांसफर करिया पे ओडिसा रे तांकर परिचय पत्र अछि यू संघ रूल होछि केंद्र रूल होछि जो माने संघ जोग दोछंती सेही शाखा संघ रे परिचय पत्र करिवे तेणु आपण माने जो माने करू नांती आई वुड एनकरेज यू टू डू अमेरिका सार संघ रे परिचय पत्र करंतु जे जण अछंती मो इंडिविजुअल हो जण कहिछि तो चेंज कर देले भलो एटा केंद्र रे चाहूछि आमे भी चाहूछु ले आपनकर 100% इंटीग्रेशन होई शाखा संघ रे चलिवो तो से मान आपन को सब नुवा फॉर्म अप्लाई करे पड़ो हला जय गुरु ओके तो अटेंडेंस अचित भाई
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु अमिताभ भाई
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु अंजना मा अनुप भाई
जय गुरु भाई
भाई जय गुरु आमे टिके बाहरे स्नो क्लीन करछु हमर अटेंडेंस पकड़ दे हम गीता मा
जय गुरु हां रबाई गीता जय गुरु हां भला अनु भाई अपन स्नो पड़छि
हां भाई जय गुरु पड़ुछि मु क्लीन करनी करबी
ओके अश्विनी भाई अश्विनी भाई अछंती जय गुरु संग मित्रा आज्ञा
जय गुरु भाई
मा जय गुरु बाणी मा
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु पर्दा भाई सोनिया मा तापरे विजय भाई अच्छे ट्रैवल करे कहतले बाहर जीवने होते हां सुमी मा जय गुरु बिनो भाई
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु अरुमा
जय गुरु भाई
मा जय गुरु विश्वित बेहरा भाई
भाई जय गुरु
विश्व आसन रचन जय गुरु तापरे विश्वरंजन भाई
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु लिपिका माँ हाँ हाँ जयगुरु ब्रज भाई जयगुरु
जयगुरु भाई
रश्मि पंडा माँ
जयगुरु भाई
हाँ जयगुरु पद्मा माँ
जयगुरु भाई
हाँ जयगुरु चिन्मय दास माँ
भाई जयगुरु
जयगुरु डौली माँ
मैं जयगुरु
जयगुरु देव भाई
भाई जयगुरु
जयगुरु लीना माँ
भाई जयगुरु
हाँ जयगुरु देवी भाई देवीदास भाई सोनालिसा माँ से अटेंडेंस आगुरी पड़ ना से इंडिया थे तेणु आसगले यूएस अच्छा सो आई यू नो हैव देयर नेम्स इन द लिस्ट देवाशीष भाई
जयगुरु
जयगुरु देवी श्यामल भाई स्निग्धा माँ दीप्ति माँ
जयगुरु भाई
गुरदास भाई प्रतिमा जयगुरु ओके ईश्वर भाई
भाई जयगुरु
जयगुरु प्रज्ञा माँ
हाँ बस निकले भाई जयगुरु
हाँ जयगुरु कृष्ण भाई जयगुरु
भाई माँ बसना
आगे हाँ जयगुरु दीप्सिता माँ
भाई जयगुरु
जयगुरु महेश भाई
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु रश्मि माँ
भाई जयगुरु
जयगुरु मानस भाई
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु प्रज्ञा माँ
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु निहार भाई
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु अर्पिता माँ
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु पल्लविता माँ आश्रम अच्छा जयगुरु प्रभाकर व्यास जयगुरु आनी माँ
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु प्रबीर भाई
जयगुरु भाई भाई माँ भी अच्छा
जयगुरु आज्ञा जयगुरु प्रीति माँ
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु पृथ्वीराज भाई
भाई जयगुरु माँ बसले न जाय
आज्ञा हाँ भाई जयगुरु प्रबी भाई कहले रमा भाई सार्थक भाई
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु पल्लवी माँ
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु सुभाषिष भाई
भाई जयगुरु
हाँ भाई जयगुरु शिवानी महाती माँ गीत गाँव वंदना सहित शिशिर भाई सोनाली माँ सुब्रत भाई
जयगुरु भाई
हाँ जयगुरु सुब्रत भाई सुश्री माँ सुचिस्मिता माँ
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु सुधांशु बड़ा माँ
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु माँ सुदासिनी माँ सुकांत भाई
भाई जयगुरु
जयगुरु सुप्रिया माँ
भाई जयगुरु
माँ जयगुरु सुप्रीत भाई
जयगुरु
जयगुरु सस्मिता माँ
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु सूर्यकांत भाई
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु सुकन्या माँ
जयगुरु भाई
हाँ जयगुरु सूर्येंदु भाई सुश्री माँ आश्रम अच्छा संगीता माँ शुभेंदु भाई पूरे इंडिया वाले से सुप्नेश्वर भाई
जयगुरु भाई
उदिता माँ
अच्छा
आज्ञा जयगुरु स्वस्तिक भाई
जयगुरु भाई
जयगुरु तन्नी माँ
जयगुरु भाई
माँ जयगुरु तारिणी भाई आराधना माँ ठाकुर भाई श्रीनाथ भाई, प्रियंबदामा, उषामा, भक्त भाई, पूजामा, वेदमती मा, कहना चर्चा कहबे
जयगुरु भाई निर्लिप्ता माँ।
निर्लिप्ता चर्चा, हाँ राइट, निर्लिप्ता
जयगुरु भाई मोनालिसा माँ। जयगुरु
माँ आपण अप्लाई करना थी से ना डकाला नहीं आपण संघ पूजा जो एनुअल सेवा अप्लाई करन टिके सेटा
करी कि अप्लाई
एरा परिचय पत्र में गले, हाँ परिचय पत्र गले इबे तब जो एनुअल देले मेसेज पठ लिंक पठिले सेटा अप्लाई कर देले नाटा आसी बतरे भाई अप्रूव करे ब्रज में अप्रूव करले हबो तार लिंक ता मेसेज पठे छ व्हाट्सएप रे आपन को हाउ कहना हला कहिरे अरे हाँ हाँ देख रहा पचारे मत जो डाउट है हाँ कल रहा मु तो रही नेक्स्ट संघ पूजा तेणु अनु भाई रिक्वेस्ट करुच्ची से अटेंडेंस नेबे आमर सम्मिलनी जोटा हम यहाँ 25 तारीख जनवरी 25 तापर 1 तारीख दिन सम्मिलनी जो दिन संघ पूजा हम ना 8 तारीख अच्छी संघ पूजा तो 2टा संघ पूजा मुझे मिस कर
हमरो एई संडे के जॉइन करछन केंद्र प्रतिनिधि मो देखिनि लिस्टा
ना शर्त भाई रहले तो आउ मैच नहीं थर को हां
ठीक ठीक हम वार्षिक उत्सव भाई तू जॉइन करथिले अब
आज्ञा हां 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 तब से मु असाइन करे डेट लिस्ट दे जे आप रिप्लाई देन हन से बिजी रहछन छाड़े तो ठीक है हां
तब माने प्रोग्राम प्रिपरेशन ग्रुप ता रेगुलर संपूता हां मुझे प्रोग्राम प्रिपरेशन तो ग्रुप ता को रेगुलर पूजा पूजा भाई नेबे
आज्ञा हां हां
हां
ताले हां जयगुरु समझिबा आ समस्त टिके अप्लाई करिवे प्लीज सबमिट योर एप्लीकेशंस टुडे ट्राई नो समस्त अछंदी घरे इट्स नॉट टेक मोर देन 10-15 मिनिट्स मैक्सिमम कर